Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7 Here is the Z107.7 local news for Monday, October 7th, 2024. Following numerous pretrials and continuances, Arthur Davies returns to San Bernardino County's Joshua Tree courtroom for a jury trial this morning. Last year's trial of Arthur Davies ended in a not guilty verdict for the alleged murder of his former girlfriend's one-year-old son. However, Davies is still being charged with a felony of assault on child causing death, a charge resulting in last year's mistrial and the reason he is on trial for a second time. Friends of Big Morongo Canyon Preserve will conduct their annual community meeting at 6 p.m. tonight in Covington Park's multipurpose room. Reporter and Morongo Valley resident Gabriel Hart has the meeting's agenda for us today.
There will be a presentation on the services Friends of Big Morongo Canyon provide to the preserve and ways the public can support their mission. The Friends group will then discuss their participation opposing the proposed 192-foot communication tower in Morongo Valley. Other discussion topics include the reconstruction of the storm-damaged boardwalk, the recent 5-year grant award from the Bureau of Land Management of $100,000 for increased visitor experiences to include new interpretive signage, and redesigning the entry kiosk displays and continuing education for elementary school children. Representatives from the Sand to Snow National Monument and San Bernardino County Regional Parks will also make presentations and answer questions. Friends of Big Morongo Canyon Preserve will premiere new fundraising products at this meeting. 2 2025 calendars featuring images from the preserve, titled Birds of Big Morongo Canyon Preserve and Art, Nature, and Landscapes of Big Morongo Canyon Preserve, both which will be available at the meeting for $15. Reporting for Z107.7, this is Gabriel Hart.
The 28th annual Morongo Basin Orchid Festival was held this weekend, and it's quite likely that you have a new orchid in your home. So many people attend the beloved event at Goobler's Orchids and Landers, but we don't always know how to take care of the orchids that we've bought. We want to make sure they're still alive when the next Orchid Festival comes around. Chris Goobler of Goobler's Orchids was on the Z107.7 Up Close show when host Gary Daigneault asked him about orchid care. Here is a cutting from that conversation.
As you know, my wife kills her limit every year. No, she takes pretty good care of them.
Yes, she does.
He enjoys them. What are the number one thing that people do wrong when they get an orchid home?
They overwater it. Orchids are older plants, usually a first-time flowering orchid's 4 years, maybe 5 years old. So people want to take better care of it. Well, their idea of taking better care of it is to water it more. And then
it's like overfeeding your dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And instead of like the dog gets fatter, the roots start to die, and then the plant begins to wither. So you think it needs more water, and that's usually the end of that. So,
how much water do I give my orchids, Chris Goobler?
It's a loaded question, but it varies by the time of the year. Water is a critical component because it's what makes the sugar in the plants. It's a key component. So during the summer, about every 7 days, 7 to 10 days if it's in the sphagnum moss. During the winter time, you probably go 10 to 12 days.
Okay. Yeah. So do you soak it and then leave it alone for 10 to 12 days, or?
Yeah. That's the number one thing. The second thing is they don't give it enough light. And light is really important for the health of the plant to make its sugars and to make it strong. And if you put it, let's say, in a north-facing window, you won't get quite the results as if you put it in a room that has more light.
You can hear their full conversation by listening to the Z107.7 Up Close show as a podcast at our website, Z107.7fm.com, or wherever you get your podcasts. Theater 29 is debuting The Legend of Sleepy Hollow this weekend with a gala opening event. Arts and entertainment reporter Charlie Thomas tells you who is behind the Pumpkinhead.
Washington Irving's timeless American ghost story, following the antics of schoolmaster Ichabod Crane in his haunting by the dreaded Headless Horseman, will take the stage at Theater 29 on Friday, October 11th. Reach Out Morongo Basin will be hosting an opening night gala with heavy hors d'oeuvres, desserts, and a silent auction. Tickets are $35 each, and the gala will begin at 6 p.m. Opening night tickets are available at the 29 Palm Visitor Center, Artifacts and Furnishings in Yucca Valley, Reach Out Morongo Basin offices in the 29 Palm Senior Center, and at the door. Starring Adam Shows as Ichabod Crane, Gabriel Figueredo as Brom Bones, and Sabrina Olsen as Katrina Von Tassel, this show will be the perfect elixir to usher in spooky season. For more information, call Reach Out Morongo Basin at 760-361-1410. Tickets for the remainder of the run will be available at theater29.org. Reporting for Z107.7, this is arts and entertainment reporter Charlie Thomas.
And finally, the VA Hospital Loma Linda is looking for volunteers to drive veterans from Morongo Valley to Loma Linda during the week for their VA appointments. Government vans are provided, but if you're looking to contribute to our veterans, this is a great opportunity to help them access their vital services. You don't have to be a veteran to be a VA driver. If you would like to volunteer, call Stephanie Munoz at 909-583-6011. If you're a veteran in need of a ride to your Loma Linda VA hospital appointment, call Daryl Bush at 909-583-6116. That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear about news happening, let us know. Email us at tips@z1077fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z1077 Local News, I'm Jeff Harmetz.